Tonight, a Target 12 investigators exclusive. We've learned a top executive is proposing a sweeping solution to the financial crisis afflicting Rhode Island's hospitals. The CEO of Care New England revealed his plan during a one-on-one interview with Target 12 investigator Ted Nesi. It's a story Ted's been tracking for years. He joins us now live in studio with the details. Ted.
Rhode Island hospital owner Lifespan has over 15,000 employees. Women and infants owner Care New England has over 7,000. And under this proposal, all those employees would join the biggest healthcare group in New England. The relationship between Rhode Island's two top hospital groups has had more twists than a daytime soap opera. Lifespan and Care New England tried and failed to merge in the 1990s and again in the 2000s. By last spring, Care New England was instead planning to join Brigham and Women's owner Partners Healthcare until Governor Gina Raimondo ordered one last try at a Rhode Island merger with Lifespan. But within weeks, Care New England pulled out of the talks.
There were multiple issues at hand.
Dr. James Fanale is CEO of Care New England, which owns Women and Infants, Kent, and Butler.
If you look about the financial situation where Lifespan's in and we are in, how does it make sense that you take an organization that's barely turning a profit and one that now Lifespan's losing money? How does putting them together ensure financial success in the future?
But Fanale admits Care New England isn't strong enough to go it alone.
I do believe in the Rhode Island solution, but I think the Rhode Island solution needs to be Lifespan, Care New England together with partners. If we combine our resources, combine our efforts together with a fairly large and very powerful and very strong, high-quality organization like Partners, I think that's the solution we should proceed down the path with.
But if someone called you and said, let's try that again, let's have those discussions, is Care New England ready to do that?
So I've called the leadership of Lifespan 4 to 5 times to begin to have discussions about how we might work better together.
And what response have you
We
received?
haven't met.
You haven't met? You
Nope.
haven't, so there's no talks happening right now?
Nope. I had a preliminary conversation probably a couple months ago where I've attempted to have a meeting, and we just haven't been able to get together.
Now, I did reach out to Lifespan today, and they are skeptical of Fanale's idea. A spokesperson tells me while they would be open to talks with Partners after a merger with Care New England, they think the two Rhode Island entities need to come together first. With the Target 12 investigators, Ted Nesi, Eyewitness News.
The CEO of Rhode Island's second largest hospital group says he's ready to merge with his biggest rival.
But only if the combined organization becomes a division of Boston-based Brigham and Women's. Dr. James Fanale revealed his thoughts during a one-on-one interview with Target 12 investigator Ted Nesi, who's been tracking the drama in Rhode Island's hospital industry for years. Ted joins us now with more.
Lifespan and Care New England employ over 22,000 people combined, and they care for hundreds of thousands of patients. But today, both are facing serious financial uncertainty. As CEO of Care New England, Dr. James Fanale oversees Women and Infants, Kent, and Butler hospitals. He also competes with Rhode Island hospital owner Lifespan, and he says neither organization is healthy.
The financial situation in Rhode Island of the two largest healthcare systems is not as strong as it needs to be.
Fanale is proposing a path forward. The two hospital giants should join forces, but as a division of Partners Healthcare, the owner of Brigham and Women's Hospital and the most powerful medical group in Massachusetts.
If we combine our resources, combine our efforts together with a fairly large and very powerful and very strong, high-quality organization like Partners, I think that's the solution we should proceed down the path with.
But Lifespan is wary of Partners, which it sees as a competitor. A Lifespan spokesperson tells me, quote, as long as Care New England continues to promote a major competitor expanding their reach into this state to the detriment of all Rhode Islanders, it will be difficult to get the parties back to the table in a truly meaningful way. That's not the only cause for tension. Lifespan says Care New England is costing Lifespan tens of millions of dollars a year by blocking a change in federal rules. Fanale says Care New England was willing to help, but at a price. He wanted assurances Lifespan wouldn't continue to use its position as Women and Infants landlord to threaten Care New England.
We were putting the financial situation of women and infants at somewhat of a risk to do this, but we thought we could work it out that it would work to everybody's advantage, and everybody agreed, but it didn't work for Lifespan.
Lifespan's leaders argue as long as Care New England is flirting with an out-of-state competitor, they need to maintain the leverage they have. Right now, there's no sign the two sides will be talking anytime soon. With the Target 12 investigators, Ted Nesi, Eyewitness News.